Wall Street would kill for a guaranteed, tax-free 21.5% annual return. The average stock market investor doesn't come close, but right now, you are likely paying that exact return directly to a bank every month. And the reason you've missed it is because of everything you've been taught about good debt and bad debt. You don't need a brokerage account to unlock it. You just need to destroy one specific balance you're carrying. About half of American credit card holders carry a balance every month at an average rate of 21.5%. The advice everyone trusts looks at that balance and drops it into a bin. Good debt bought an asset, a house, a degree. Bad debt bought something that lost value. Your card lands in the bad bin. Every $10,000 sitting on it costs about $2,150 a year, just in interest. And the rule says what it always says: card bad, pay it down someday. What it never says is that clearing that card is a guaranteed, tax-free 21.5% return. The best return most people will ever get. Categorizing is the expensive part. It files your best investment under bad, then it calls ignoring it responsible. So when did anyone ever hand you a bill and call it 21.5% guaranteed? So throw the bins out. What a debt bot tells you nothing about whether it's building you up or bleeding you. One number does: the rate on the debt measured against what that same money could earn somewhere else. Not good or bad, higher or lower than one line. A 21.5% card and a 6% mortgage are the same tool pointed opposite ways. This is the whole game, and it runs in about 10 seconds alone. So where does your line sit? You need a number for what your money earns elsewhere, and there are two honest answers. Safe money, in a high-yield savings account or treasury bills, earns about 4% today. Ambitious money, in the stock market, has returned about 10% a year over the long run, though never smoothly and never promised. Put those together and a rule appears. Above about 8%, no reliable investment beats simply paying off the debt, so you attack it. Below about 6%, especially at a fixed rate, you keep the debt and invest the difference. Between 6% and 8% is a gray zone, where the answer turns on your taxes and whether that rate can climb on you. Call it the crossover line, and one detail makes it sharper than it looks. When you earn 10% in the market, the government taxes the gain. When you erase a 21.5% card, you keep the whole 21.5%, and nothing is taxed because you removed a cost instead of earning income. That's why high-rate debt is worse than it looks, and why killing it is better than it looks. A dollar you don't lose beats a dollar you might earn. So which of your debts clear 8%? Now put a real person against that line. Sam is 34, a dental hygienist, and she earns $58,000 a year. She's done the boring parts right. Emergency fund, 401k match, no drama. She has about $500 a month left over. She also has $8,000 on a credit card at 21.5% and pays about $200 a month toward it. That is about $143 a month in interest alone, gone before it touches what she owes. Sam doesn't need a budget, she needs to know which debt to kill first. So here's every debt, ranked the only way that matters. By rate, highest first. Rung 1, a payday loan or a buy now pay later balance. Payday loans have interest rates in excess of 100%, and buy now pay later can run 25 to 30%. That isn't a debt, it's a fire. Above every version of the line, no argument. So it comes first, and everything else waits. Rung 2, the credit card at 21.5%. This one is Sam's. At $200 a month, that $8,000 takes 71 months to clear, nearly 6 years. Along the way, she hands the bank $6,200 in interest and pays over $14,000 to retire an $8,000 debt. Or she sees paying it off for what it is, a guaranteed 21.5% return, the best one she will ever get. So which of these is already sitting in your wallet? Rung 3, a personal loan, around 12%, still well above the line. No market return reliably beats 12% guaranteed, so it dies next, top down. Rung 4, a car loan. This one depends on your credit and the length of the loan. Your local credit union might have rates as low as 5 or 6% for shorter terms and excellent credit, but closer to 9% for longer terms and average or fair credit. Let's go with the average and call it 9%. Above the line, so it goes. But the gap is smaller. You're only beating the market by a point or so now. Guaranteed. Worth doing. Less urgent than the card. Rung 5 is where the line flips, a student loan around 6% and a fixed mortgage at 6.5% or less. Both sit in the gray zone, under 8% and right at the edge of 6%. Here the math changes sides. Paying a 6.5% mortgage down early earns you a guaranteed 6.5%. Investing the same money earns a probable 10%, taxed and bumpy, but probably more. So you keep paying these on schedule and you invest alongside them. You don't attack them, you out-earn them. So how many rungs is your money spread across right now? See what that did? It threw out good debt and bad debt entirely. No bins, one ranked list, highest rate on top, from about 30% at the very top down to 6% at the bottom. You attack from the top down until you drop below the line. Then you stop attacking and start investing. The same logic runs on your savings, not just your debts. Leave $50,000 in a typical big bank account at 0.38% and it earns you $190 a year. Move the same $50,000 to a high-yield account at 4.3% and it earns about $2,150, 11 times more for identical government-insured safety. The only difference was the rate. When did you last check the one on yours? Now the mistake that cancels all of it. Remember Sam's $500 a month. Say she does what feels responsible and starts pouring it into the market, while the $8,000 card keeps sitting there at 21.5%. Look at what that actually is. She's earning a probable 10% on the money she invests and paying a guaranteed 21.5% on the money she owes. She's borrowing at 21.5% to invest at 10. Every dollar she does that with goes backwards by about 11 points a year, guaranteed. Are you doing a version of that right now? That is the same $8,000 that left at $200 a month costs her over $14,000 to clear. The card never cared how responsible the rest of her life looked. The fix is the order, but one thing jumps the line first. If her employer matches her 401k, that match is a 50% instant return, so she grabs it before anything else. Then the $500 kills the card, which clears in about 19 months. Then with no card left, that same $500 goes to the market. At 10% a year, $500 a month becomes about $102,000 in 10 years, about $380,000 in 20, and about $1.13 million in 30. In today's dollars, after inflation, that last number is closer to $610,000, still from $500 a month and nothing more exotic than order. Read that again. The only thing that ever changed was which side of the line it stood on. So here's yours. Tonight, pull up every debt you have and write the rate next to each one. No spreadsheet, a pen and your statements. Then lay each rate against the line, against 8%. Everything above it, you attack, top down, starting with the highest rate in the stack. Everything under about 6%, you stop attacking and you send that money to the market instead. The gray zone in the middle, you settle with your own taxes and your own nerve. Above the line is a to-do list in order. Below it is permission to stop. So which side is most of your money on tonight? You don't need a system or a guru or a course. You need one number per debt, its rate laid against that 8% line, and the honesty to point your money at the right side of it. So let's do it together right now. In the comments, pull your statements and tell me the single highest rate on your list. We'll both know which side of the line it's on. If this is the kind of plain talk and simple explanations you like, you know where the subscribe button is. And keep the momentum going. Watch Your Money Earns an Hourly Wage. At $100,000, it's $3.37 per hour. It's on the screen. Remember, this isn't personal financial advice. It's information, so you can build your own plan. See you on the next one.